listening to the Pharmacy Podcast Network.
This is the FrameworkLTC User Conference Post-Show podcast series in partnership with the Pharmacy Podcast Network. This is part 2 of the 3-part series. It was wonderful getting to connect with all of FrameworkLTC customers, vendors, and partners at this year's user conference. Please enjoy this series and connect with the SoftWriters team at FrameworkLTC.com. We look forward to seeing you in October 2024 at the Aria in Las Vegas. And now, here's our host and founder of the Pharmacy Podcast Network, Todd Eury.
Welcome to the FrameworkLTC 2023 User Conference here in Boston, Massachusetts. If you weren't able to make the conference, this has been an amazing event. I love being part of where I started in pharmacy, in long-term care pharmacy, and how critical it is that we're caring for some of the most fragile people in our country. I have Joshua Porter here, who is Vice President of Sales and Marketing. Joshua, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Todd. Happy to be here.
Yes, this is incredible. There's energy here, the partnerships that we're seeing in the trade show area. I like the venue of how close everything is. Even though it gives off the Vegas feel, we don't have to put up with actual Vegas, traffic.
No, we're very fortunate, and I think one of the reasons this is going to be our highest attendance conference this is our 13th annual user conference. We missed a couple years because of COVID, but this is going to be our highest attended conference of all time, and I think part of it has to do with location. People get a little sick of going to Vegas. So we still had to do it in a casino at the Encore property here in Boston, but it's a great venue. The exhibit and networking space is very well connected. So we're anticipating a fantastic show. You know, we have a really rich programming content coming up over the next couple days, some great keynote speakers that are from outside the industry, and then some real industry experts, subject matter experts from SoftWriters that are going to give presentations to our customer base. You know, we really pride ourselves on being solely dedicated to the long-term care pharmacy space. That is our only mission. And we want this conference to be the conference for long-term care pharmacies. And I think you see that with the attendance we've had this week, not just from our clientele, but also, over 30 partners within the industry. This is an industry that takes more than just a pharmacy management system, a software system to be successful. You need a lot of other partners, and you see that in what we have in the exhibit hall is a very diverse set of people that are serving the ecosystem.
Joshua, you have to pick one thing. I'm going to put you on the spot, even though there's a lot to pick from in the menu of content that's coming from this conference. But some things are standing out to me, and we're hearing about artificial intelligence-infused logistics and tracking of product from the long-term care pharmacy to the end user. We're hearing about the expansion of home care coming out of long-term care pharmacy. We're hearing about new partnerships in strategic buying, injecting some of that data into FrameworkLTC's inventory management system. What stands out to you? What's exciting you this time?
Well, they're all exciting. I think a close second to my choice is the LTC at Home. We've got a presentation from Jess Androff at Consonas and Kevin Farron from Absolute on how they're handling LTC to home, because I think it's really at the top of the mind for a lot of operators and owners right now. But for me, the most exciting piece is really what you were going with, delivery logistics. I travel the country and meet with pharmacy owner operators at various sizes. And every single time I'm in a pharmacy, one of their main concerns is delivery. Obviously, it's a high-cost item. It's painful, whether they're employing their own drivers, whether they're using a courier company or a mix of both, or they're doing shipping. It's top of mind, and we're very excited. We announced this earlier this summer, but they're doing a presentation at the conference. Our newest partner, Virtue Technologies, they have a tremendous delivery logistics software platform that we're in the final stages of integrating with, and then it will become commercially available to our customer base later this year, likely by Thanksgiving timing. And so they're giving a presentation, and I think just the pre-conference buzz from what I've heard from our clients is they're really excited to see that presentation. And I think it's a good launching off point for our partnership with Virtue Tech to have them here and to have them be one of our general sessions.
Joshua, I want to thank you and the entire SoftWriters team. What a polished organization, truly care. I've seen so many hugs in the SoftWriters booth with clients, the smiles, the excitement. I just want to say thank you to the organization. Thanks for allowing the Pharmacy Podcast Network to be part of your media and press team. We can't wait to listen to the rest of the series.
Well, Todd, thank you for being here. Obviously we're very excited about our partnership with the Pharmacy Podcast Network and everything that you're doing to help us promote, the services that we're providing in the industry. I know you're a longtime member of the industry, and so having you on our side is tremendous. And just even from last year, just looking around the exhibit hall, we've kind of leveled up. I mean, we've got your podcast booth here right next to it's just a tremendous display of what we have to offer, and we appreciate all your help in that.
Your leadership in long-term care pharmacy means something to us. We like documenting it through podcasting, and we can't wait to see you in Vegas. Unfortunately, we're going back to Vegas. But we can't wait to see everybody in Vegas in 2024, SoftWriters LTC User Conference 2024. Thank you so much, Joshua.
Thank you, Todd. Appreciate it.
Hey, you know what? If I think of hanging out with someone in long-term care pharmacy, a personal friend of mine, someone I've known for years, we worked together way back in the day. Grace Ball, welcome to the FrameworkLTC User Conference 2023. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Todd. I'm happy to be here.
And we have a special guest, Julie Martin from Synchrony Pharmacy. Julie, it is awesome to have you here as well at the white couch. If you don't see what we're looking at, we have the most posh setup here for the podcast at Framework LTC. But Julie, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's talk shop. I'm going to start with Grace because you and I go way back, and when you were doing 18 jobs way back in the day,
yep.
And you really know a ton about the business of pharmacy. Now we're at long-term care, where we have some of the most fragile patients that we're caring for. Pharmacy management system, Framework LTC, really leading the marketplace, the very first SQL-based system in the market back when we were dealing with closed-off systems that were character-based. But from your perspective, what do you think is like one of the biggest challenges in LTC pharmacy right now?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think it is the ever-changing market. A lot of post-COVID, the world has changed. Staffing shortages are huge. Reimbursements are down. Automation needs are up. So I think those are, three areas that we see a lot of recently that I think are affecting this market.
Julie, I was inspired by the opening of today's session when Scott Beatty was on stage and he was kind of giving build, partner, share, serve, build, partner, serve. But one of the things that Scott said is how he believes, and I agree with him, that home care is going to expand out of long-term care pharmacy. Tell us about your organization and how you're preparing for that change instead of serving a facility, we're going to be serving people's homes.
We have started a program called RX at Home where we follow the patient home, and when a patient is discharged from a nursing facility, we give them the option to send a 30-day supply so that they're not having to put that burden on their family members. And we've also incorporated our RX at Home pharmacy, that once they are at home, we provide them with documentation and literature about the program so that they can start using our mail order pharmacy in order for them to be able to provide their medications and in a timely fashion.
What's the stress that you think comes from the family who sometimes is Sometimes it's only one person, sometimes it's multiple people, but I can only think of the stress that's relieved from them thinking that they're going to be cared for, transferring out of an assisted living center back home and wondering how that's going to be. Have you ever talked with support people that are helping the end user, the patient, and what are you telling them in order to let them know that, hey, we got this?
Our staff at the RX at Home pharmacy communicates with the patients on a regular basis, and one of the things that they've indicated to our leadership team is that they get thanks a lot.
That's cool.
Because they're able to now provide the medications to their family, and even if they don't have someone, the actual patient themselves has relief because we've set up automation for them to be able to receive these medications just as a mail order pharmacy. So just like our CVS's and Walmart's, we're able to provide them with their medications, and we have different messages that occur within the pharmacy of when that medication is due. Do they need it? And if they don't, this is the key piece, if they don't, then we realize that there's a problem and they're not receiving medication. So that opens up other doors for our nursing team to communicate with the patient and ensure that they're taking those meds on time and relieving the stress of a readmission, either to the hospital and then back to the facility and then back home again.
So Grace, what part of FrameworkLTC have you recently become most interested in with the expansion of different services that come from the platform that's going to prepare our long-term care pharmacies to move from facility management to home management?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think that we're trying to think about Framework as a whole product suite and better integrating all of them to better service that. I think Framework RxP, our newer released product on the consulting side, for me would be a great opportunity to kind of see that play out more in an at-home setting, because I feel like, as Julie said, with the readmissions, we do a good job of taking care of these residents in these facilities and reviewing their meds with them and trying to get them on those gradual dose reductions and all of that. But when they go home, nobody's there for them to do that. And oftentimes we see that they stop taking their medications and they think they're fine, and then they end up back into a facility starting all over again. So I would really like to see RxP kind of play that out to the at-home market, and how can we service those and use that product to continue that care, as Julie mentioned, from the facilities all the way through.
We've been excited that organizations like GeriMed are here, which are a huge partner to the entire ecosystem of what is long-term care pharmacy. And Susan Rhodes has been on several panel discussions throughout podcasts, and she stated how changes have to be made in the way things are being reimbursed in order to make sure that home care is reimbursed just as a long-term care provider would be. Julie, what challenges have your organization experienced within the state that you're at that has been a payment barrier to getting you paid for in servicing the clients that you have?
We see a lot with the reimbursement of generic medications and receiving less than what we actually paid for that med. That's one area that's a bone of contention. And also the fact that we have to look at the pricing and the difference between AWP and what our cost is. That's another challenge, and it's difficult for us to be able to provide the meds at a reasonable cost to the facilities. And the ever-changing compass of insurance plans and your reimbursements, there's a lot of thought process involved with us when the year is changing to provide these patients with new types of insurances, and we do our homework and we help them out as much as possible to pick the right plan and be able to save a little bit of money on their end from the co-payments of their medications.
I've really appreciated the both of you participating in our post-show. I think it's important that we have podcast that can go out to people who didn't get a chance to actually come to the event. We're so excited to be here with FrameworkLTC and the team at SoftWriters in Boston. We are going to be in Vegas in 2024. Julie, are we going to see you at the area?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well,
Put
thank
money
you.
down on it.
Put money down on it. I'm betting on Julie. All right. Thank you so much, Grace. I think this is the first time you've been on the Pharmacy Podcast Network. This can't be the last. You got to come down to the studio and spend some time with us.
I would love to.
Awesome. Thank you both. Matt Gilbert, I keep telling you every time I see you at a conference and we get an opportunity to have you as part of our post-show, you're like one of the reoccurrings that show up everywhere. You're at every conference I have ever attended. So
I come with the building. I'm part of the package. So it's catering, electrical, and Matt Gilbert. They get roped in together.
That's right. Extra charge. Hey, we are here at the Framework Focus. Wait. In 3, 2, 1. We're here at the FrameworkLTC 2023 User Conference in Boston. It's great to see RxSafe here. We're really talking about no more calibrated cassettes through the technology called the Rapid Card RX. Give our listeners just a little background on RxSafe, why you're a leader in pharmacy automation, and specifically with the Rapid Card RX, why you're helping long-term care pharmacies to excel.
Yeah, thanks, Todd. Well, it's great to be back here at the Framework Show, the premier LTC Expo, if you want to call it that. All the leaders use a couple different technologies in their pharmacy, and the people that we've spoken with here, they're looking for something new, and we provide that. We're not a big conglomerate. We're a small manufacturing and engineering company out of California. And a couple of things that make us unique in the marketplace. You talked about the no calibrated cassettes, small footprint on the machine, but as a company, we're an engineering company by heart. We have complete autonomy and design over all of our equipment. So being in the LTC space in particular, you need that integration ability and you need the customization. No two LTC pharmacies are the same. Every single one is unique. They've got their own business structure. They've got their own silos that they're going after as far as targeting new business. So it could be corrections, it could be assisted living, skilled, hospice. We see all different types and modalities of pharmacy in the LTC space, and we try to position ourselves as their partner. You know, being a true partner in the industry versus being a vendor and selling you a piece of equipment. We want to make sure you're successful in every capacity when you buy a piece of our technology.
You know, I've always thought all of the systems, Rapid Pack, the Rapid Card RX, the footprint, that you're not taking up hardly any room. I mean, each of your systems are so condensed that it's easy to put it into spacing when we don't have a lot of space, especially if a long-term care pharmacy is looking to expand and being able to put this technology in place. Kind of talk to us a little bit more about the configurable and the single med using up to 20, 30, 40 smart universal cartridges, what that means for the efficiency of a long-term care pharmacy.
Yeah, and being in a lot of small, tight spaces is where a lot of these LTCs get born from. You know, people aren't building out 400,000 square foot facilities out of the gate for the most part. You know, it might start in a basement of their existing pharmacy and they've got a combo shop and eventually they branch out and they keep growing the business. So we fit in the smallest spaces. Our dimensions on our standard machine are 18 inches deep, 33 inches wide, and only 5 feet tall. And that's a 20 cartridge machine, and it also scales up to 30 and 40, like you had mentioned before, without it changing the existing footprint. So we fit them in the smallest places. We've got them in huge mail order facilities, huge LTC facilities, where we've got rows of them because they're filling thousands and thousands of scripts a day. But either a Rapid Pack pouch packaging machine or a Rapid Card single and multi-dose blister card filling machine, same exact footprint on both of those.
All right, if listeners are listening to the FrameworkLTC 2023 User Conference Post-Show, what's the best way to reach out to you and get a hold of you?
Yeah, find me on LinkedIn. My name's Matt Gilbert, VP of Business Transformation, Major Accounts. My cell phone number, 860-465-7349, or mgilbert, Gilbert, @rxsafe.com.
And just go to rxsafe.com and they'll help you. And love the consultation and the strategy that you bring to the table, more than just a piece of equipment. The strategy and understanding of the setting that you're serving, and in this case, long-term care pharmacy, is so important. Thanks for being part of the post-show, Matt.
All right. Appreciate it, Todd. Thanks so much.
Nick Majors, you are here with us, three-part series here with the FrameworkLTC 2023 User Conference. It's great to have you here.
Great to be here.
Thank you so much for taking the time. I really want to ask you the question just right out of the gate. What's the future of long-term care pharmacy look like from your perspective?
I think it's about the shift away from what every other industry is doing. It's getting away from paper, phone, voicemail, and fax. You know, if you talk from anyone youthful, I have a 17-year-old daughter, you call her or you leave a voice message, it has to be something of epic proportions because she will demand you text her first. That reality is becoming the reality in long-term care. That's what we're facilitating. Secure messaging is, in a way, a platform version of text. And then we can drive so much workflows as we move people off of paper. So we've first launched secure messaging, and now we're launching in all these other ancillary things that are the next workflows to advance away from paper, whether it's narcotic count sheets, whether it's getting signatures so they're not signing on a piece of paper and trying to fax it. We can do that all digital.
Yep.
And what's funny is everyone agrees, but everyone still tries to stay in phone and fax because the industry's slow to change. It's healthcare.
Yep. So tell us about your organization specifically and how you're impacting long-term care.
So if you talk to any facility and you ask them about pharmacy, they will tell you one of the top 3 problems they have with pharmacy is they call way too often and then they're never available when we call them. And so the natural byproduct is if you have 100 patients in a building, and that's a lot of medication if every patient's polypharmacy of 20 meds. That's just a lot of phone calls, a lot of coordination. Well, the reality is pharmacies in one location, facilities in another, and the doctors in another. So coordinating everyone onto a phone call is a lot of phone calls. Mm-hmm. On messaging, I can send a message and I can add people or take people away from existing threads, and we give them the compliance. So it's really just basic communications. It's what we all do already with our friends, but we can now talk about patients. You can take images and secure, you can move files. It's really basic stuff that we're just giving available, and then we connect to those bigger systems like ECM is our interface for them to get secure messaging. So they operate from ECM and get the messages coming to them in the pharmacy, in the facility. Doctors are on their mobile, nurses are on laptops, and you can access where you need to from your point. So that was the big learning I think we got and the industry's getting from COVID was everyone wants to work from where they want, how they want, and when they want. And that is optimized in our environment as opposed to if you're stuck on phone and fax, that's legacy technology that creates gaps and lags.
Yep.
So that's what you're tackling is that big issue of you left me a voice message, but if I've got 55 voice messages and the message I need to hear from you is voice message number 2, I've got to go through 53 other voice messages to get to yours. I can triage 53 text messages and respond back to them while I'm on a phone call.
Yep.
So that's the whole workflow. Everyone's just, it's very basic.
It is, and it's something that we're all used to in a mobile phone environment that you and I didn't necessarily grow up with. It now it's just the way things are. So we have to keep up with the times and the user. And I think the future of long-term care pharmacy is extremely bright, but I don't think it's going to look anything like it did 25 years ago.
It can't. And there's 2 big pieces driving that I talk to administrations of pharmacies to start to really think about. And one is 50% of the nursing staff force in long-term care is over the age of 50. and plans to retire within 5 to 7 years.
Okay.
So if you think about that and say we're going to lose half the nurses in long-term care in the next 5 to 7 years, and baby boomers are coming, and we are going to multiply the census of every building to the maximum and ask nurses, everyone's up to the water level's up to everyone's nose in the pharmacy and that. And I go, you're going to lose half your nurses and you're going to get a lot more patients. How are you going to do that on phone and fax? So optimization is coming whether anyone wants it. The early people are getting a head start. They're getting advantages. They're redefining workflows. They spent 20, 30 years optimizing phone and fax. Any gain you can get now is only incremental. And so you need a new tool. And that's all secure messaging is, just a compliant tool that moves across platforms. And then we can do, once they're digital, we can do amazing things on the workflows that you can't, what's the best you can do is a party call on a phone. That's the best
I remember
you can
that.
get, right. And that happened when we were young.
Yep.
What's young to our kids is technology, social media, and the attributes of that we're bringing in that make sense for what long-term care does.
That's awesome. Nick, thanks for being part of the post-show. We can't wait to see you next year in Vegas.
Yeah, very excited. We've been there before, so it's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Don't miss the next episode in this 3-part series of the FrameworkLTC User Conference Post-Show.